Hi, welcome. My name is Shani Presley, and welcome to Inspire Higher Family and Leadership. I'm sure you're here because I posted a shorts about how to become a stay-at-home mom. And there was 3 points that I talked about. The first one was, how would this financially affect your family? How will my friends and family look at me when I decide to quit my job? Or, and the last one, number three, how will I be myself? Will this change me? And I can speak on those things because I am a stay at home mom and I had to go through these same steps to figure out, is this something that's viable for our family? Is this something that I can do? All that types of stuff. And let's get right into it. So, number one, I wanted to ask, how can this financially affect my family? Some families are ran on two incomes. Some families are ran on one income. Sometimes you have to see what your financial expenses are. Your house or mortgage or rent payment may be this amount, and because you both work, the combining of your two salaries or two work checks can cover it all, and you still can do some extra stuff. Sometimes being a stay-at-home mom can change that. All the extra stuff, all the extra spending that you used to do, sometimes you have to cut that. The budgeting becomes more of a part of your daily life. Sometimes you have to look and see, how am I going to spend on this grocery bill where I used to go? How do I make it be more effective for my family? What about the light bill? Do I need to go to equal budgeting? Because now that my salary isn't a part, or your husband or partner could be the only one bringing in the money. And you're like, well, I want to figure out a way to help, but I really want to be at home with the children, you know? So in my situation, the way I became a stay-at-home mom, it wasn't because it was something that I chose. And that's the thing too. Circumstances and situations can push you into a different lifestyle that you didn't know that you wanted, or that you didn't know that was possible for you. In my situation, I was taking care of my mom, and my mom eventually passed away, which was very sad. And I was working my job. I loved my job. I worked in the government sector. And for some reason, I mentally couldn't handle the grief that I was going through and work at the same time with all the challenging and demands that we were going through. Our household was actually running on both of our salaries. So, with my salary and my husband's salary, things were smooth. We were able to do extra stuff. We were able to go to extra trips, do extra dinners. I mean, it wasn't a burden at all. But then one day I just couldn't do it anymore. And by that time we had two children. And I told my husband, I said, I don't know what's going on, but I can't do it anymore. And me and my husband talked about it, and he was like, make sure this is what you want to do, but we'll figure it out. And if you have a supportive partner, it makes it a lot easier when you have to take away some of the fun things that you used to do, or may have to adjust your lifestyle. It makes it easier for a person to be able to step down from something they truly love. And I had to step down. I didn't want to mentally, I didn't want to, because it was something I loved doing, but I couldn't emotionally handle it anymore. So I stepped down, and it was my husband, only the breadwinner. And I want to also do a video about how the partner that's dealing with the heavier financial burden, how do they feel? What are their thoughts? What are the anxieties that they're experiencing? Because we, as a person that's stepping down, have our own anxieties. And we need to also understand what they're going through. But back to what I was saying. How will it financially affect your home? You have to look at your budget. You have to look at your finances. You have to look at what you spend monthly, and how the change will change into your daily living, because it does change. See, in my case, I was blessed that I asked the Lord, I said, Lord, I know I had to step down because I can't do this, but please put my help my husband to get a job that where my salary can be added to his salary. And I kid you not, it wasn't a few months. My husband got offered a job that literally took my salary and put it into the salary that he was making. So basically, our household was still running on two incomes, but he was making the two incomes. And I'm so grateful for that. But you have to think about that stuff because there are some roadblocks and challenges that you may not know that's coming that you have to know about. Number two, what will my friends think? What will my family think that I'm going to quit my job? They don't see what's happening with me. They don't see how I'm emotionally struggling, going through grief. They don't see that I want to raise my kids. I don't want the school system to raise my kids or their friends to raise them. I want to be able to raise my kids. I want to be able to teach my kids in the way that I want them to go. They don't know those things. So you and yourself are self-conscious about how are other people going to think about me? And I have I have to acknowledge that I did think that. How would other people think about me? I mean, I had a very, very good job, a very good career. And if I would have continued, I could have continued up the upward ladder. But my sanity and my self well being was more important than being a working mom. I did that. I was a working mom coming home, taking care of the children, taking care of the home. My husband would come home to help the house. So I was a working mom. So I know how that feels. And it was time for me to take care of me mentally. So I did wonder how they thought about me leaving an amazing job, quitting and coming home to be a stay-at-home mom and taking care of kids because a lot of people don't appreciate a stay-at-home mom. A partner that stays home, stay-at-home mom or stay-at-home dad, we work the hardest. I'm not saying the other partner that has the career, the job, the breadwinner doesn't work hard, but our job is constant. It literally feels like it's 24 hours a day. So I am so grateful that there are videos out there, there are people out there that are showing a day in the life at a stay-at-home parent. Why are they tired at the end of the day? I had to realize that this was going to be better for me. Doesn't matter what they think, what they thought, that this was going to be better for me and it was going to eventually be better for my household. And number three, how will this change me? You have to really think about that. How will it change you? Because it will. You have to find who you are again, your identity. Because when you come home, especially if you have children, things change. You become the person they depend on for everything. You want to have a moment of yourself to be quiet and just chill, but if the children are young and at home, they're constantly at your door. You're using the bathroom, they're at the door. You're in the kitchen, they're at your leg in the kitchen. Everywhere you go, you will have somebody attached to you, always needing something. So you have to also think about who am I going to be when I come home? How am I going to be changed by this? With me, when I came home in the beginning, it was tough because with my children, I allowed them, I'm like a Montessori type person. I allowed them to be themselves. And when they're ready for certain things, they can do that. When they're ready to read, I'll help them read certain things. When they're ready to potty train, teach them to potty train. I like to wait till they're ready. But then I realized that I was putting so much stress upon myself. When I worked in the government sector, I had a schedule. I had a schedule set for myself that when I walked in the morning at 8:30, I would do this. At 8:45, I would do this. At 9 o'clock, I would do this. At 10 o'clock, I would do this. Like every hour, 30 minutes was accounted for. Even if I wasn't doing that particular task, something was in those block things. And that's what the Lord helped me. And I'm going to say that the Lord helped me to reimagine what being a stay at home parent is, where within like a couple months, I put schedules in place, literally. Literal schedules in my phone, in my calendar, and they still go off until this date. In the morning, it would be 8:30 or 8 o'clock. We're waking up, we take our showers. Then around 8:30, 8:45, we have our breakfast. At 9 o'clock, we sit down and do reading time. At 9:15, we start doing coloring. At 9:30, we get ready to go outside and get sun time. At 10 o'clock, we start doing on writing. At 10:30, we do a video on sounds. Like literally, that's what I did. And because I did that, I put structure into my day. And my children knew at certain times the bells would go off. They were anticipating what the next activity was. And because we did it so often, they started to understand, okay, at this time we're going to do this. At this time we're going to do that. They knew, they were anticipating getting ready for the next event. So when that happened, that's when I started to have time for myself, because I also built in nap time for them. I also built in time that I could have to myself, to read a book, to go through my social media, or to take a walk outside, or to step outside and just have a breather. I built in those things, and I started to find myself again. Because when I was a working mom, when I was in the government job that I was doing, I ran everything. I was the go girl. I was the get it girl. But when I came home, I had to realize that this is a new venture. And I can still be that go girl, that get it girl. But I had to adjust and learn who the new me was, and had to get comfortable with the new me. It takes time. Don't rush yourself. Be patient. It takes time. And with that taking time, that's how you learn who you are. That's how the children learn you. Your partner learn who's the new you, and you learn everybody else. I can say, for me, coming home with my children, even though that's not what I initially wanted to do, has been the most rewarding thing for me. That I was able to see my children walk. I was able, their first steps actually, I was able to see when they lost their first tooth. I was the one to help catch it or pull it out. I was the one to help them try the newest food or the newest fruit. I was the one to help them go through a situation in school. I was the one to help them with their math problems in school. They weren't in an after school care. And I'm not going to say that's wrong, because I was a working mom where that was a part of my life, and I really appreciate that. But now that I have the more access and have more decision making on how my children are raised, how they see things in the world, how they can become better and effective citizens, it's been a joy. So those three things: one, how can it financially affect your family? Two, what will my friends and family think when I decide to quit? And three, how will I find myself? Who am I? Who am I going to become when I leave, this new person? You have to think about those three things. That's just the beginning. I've been doing this for over going on 10 years or more. I have young kids. So every day things change, but you have to be willing to adjust, and you have to be ready for when those things come. So because I've already been through that kind of first phase, I want to help you to get through that too, to be a stay-at-home mom. And I want to also talk about the beginning stages of babies, toddlers, big kids, middle school kids. It changes, guys. It changes. And I'm just going to tell you, it changes. But I hope you come back for more videos, because I'm really excited to share what I've experienced, what I've been through, and how I've adjusted and how it has worked for my family. So thank you for stopping by, and I'll see you on the next video.